Good to see you all and to have this opportunity to be with like-minded souls with a similar goal and who understand what is Krishna consciousness from the beginning, where we are on the journey. How do we know? But we need the help of each other. So with like-minded persons on the way home, let us join together in our back to basics so that we can have a firm foundation for our journey. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sunda Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. And our Jai to our whole Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai. And today on this side of the world, or most of the world, except the remote corners, then it is still, it is already rather Jiva Goswami's appearance day and the appearance day of Vamanadev. So that's coming up for everybody, because here it's early in the morning, but already in Thailand, Muktinathru is in Thailand. Oh, long ago, Jai Gauranga in Australia. Already they'll have been discussing about Jiva Goswami and Vamanadev, no doubt. But when we mention the Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga, then this very intrinsically includes Srila Jiva Goswami, who protected and presented Rupa and Sanatan's teachings, protected that against the envious arguments of the Mayavadis and the imitators, etc. Any outside influence that they are trying to establish other conceptions, Jiva Goswami showed without doubt what Rupa and Sanatana have given. This is 100% authentic, giving us 100% the conclusion of what is given in the Veda, without trying to wrangle out all sorts of hidden, different ideas which are coming to impersonalism, which very much is hated by the Vaishnavas. The God has no personality. Then what is it? We have no personality? No, everybody's got personality and very much attached to their personality. So the Lord, He is the original person, the origin of all personalities, with likes, dislikes, humor, beauty, and everything. So, dear devotees, we've come together and let us say our mini Vandanam because it's good for us. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvije Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasa Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, dear family, happy to be with you all and to see Jai Gauranga Prabhu wearing an apron. He's in a kitchen somewhere, so he's being active. Well done, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Govinda Govinda. Okay, actually good to see each and every one of you. And those who are hiding, then we are seeing your names also very happily. And Pavan Krishnabhu Muktinathu, the days are coming nearer where, if it is the will of the Lord, we'll be there with you in Thailand. But it's still a month to go. A month to go is going to be Kartik. So amazingly, another year passing by. And a reminder of the time passing by. I was only away from Italy for 2 weeks and 2 days or something like this, with the journey to England and many programs, and Ireland and many programs. But coming back, already it is like autumn. Well, not only like autumn, it is autumn and quite chilly. And anyway, a very quick change, because it was not like autumn. It was like summer when I left. And 2 weeks later, then we understand how summer, autumn, winter, spring, summer, autumn, winter, spring. And a reminder, not only that days are passing from our life, but years are passing from our life, and we must use our life carefully. How to use our life? This has been given by our teachers. A teacher, we need a teacher for everything. And our teachers are headed by the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, and the great devotees, the pure devotees, those who know what is what and are coming to give us guidance of how to lead our life every year, every day, every moment, to lead our life properly. So we're like puppies that need training. And so we need a master. And so a street dog and a one master dog are two different characters of dogs entirely. And we don't want to be a street dog. We want to be a dog with a master. We want to be trained, not just our own idea of rah, 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 and fight with the other dogs to get what we want. But we will be happy to take what our master gives us only, and to accept his grace in all circumstances. So our masters are headed by Rupa and Sanatan, headed by Jiva Goswami, because Jiva Goswami is the younger generation and brilliant. His life is not the life of an ordinary person in this world. And he also is related to Rupa and Sanatan. Sanatan is the older brother, then Rupa Goswami, then Anupama. And Anupama's son is Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami's life extraordinary from the beginning, but Jiva Goswami, very young age, at a young age, then he left from his home, but with the whole intention to come to follow the direction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is coming to him in inspiration, you can say in a dream, but not like our dreams, but a dream of reality. And he came to Navadip Dham, where he met with Nityananda. He came to Nityananda in Navadip Dham. And as a youth, young youth, I don't know the exact age, but a young, bright youth, he came to Navadip, and Nityananda Prabhu gave him much attention and affection. Nityananda showed him and took him on parikrama of Navadip and showed him the various places in Navadip, which are hidden to the eye, but which are real and are real, like always real, and sometimes revealed and sometimes not revealed, but showed the places of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Jiva Goswami, he appeared the year after Mahaprabhu's disappearance. And so there was this, like, immediate, as Mahaprabhu disappeared, Jiva Goswami appeared. And even Mahaprabhu, when he'd come previously to the banks of the river Padma, then on one side Mahaprabhu standing on the banks, and he's, oh no, this is Narottam. Excuse me, I've got two things. I'm overlapping two pastimes. That was Narottam Das Thakur. Anyhow, Jiva Goswami, he's the next generation. And so perhaps it needs a little clarification, because I was mixing up with Narottam Das Thakur about whether it was whether he appeared the exact year that Mahaprabhu disappeared. That, I think, needs a little clarification, because that was Narottam Das Thakur I was considering there, who also is, as you can understand, the next generation. But Jiva Goswami, he was young, he was brilliant, and Mahaprabhu gave him the seva. So from inside, Mahaprabhu gave him the seva to go to Vrindavan and there to assist Rupa and Sanatan in their literary descriptions of what is devotional service and the life of the upper world. So in this way, his service place was given as Vrindavan, but first he went to Navadip, and in Navadip, then Nityananda showed him everywhere, including going to the house of Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, where Mahaprabhu, as Nimai Sundar, grew up. But and amazingly, when we read Navadip Dham Mahatmya and read the description of Jiva Goswami being taken around the holy places, then Mother Sachi came out of the house and greeted them, and she hosted them, she cooked for them. So Mother Sachi, as an elderly, means more elderly lady, then she came out of the house herself. She was still living there. So Jiva Goswami got the association of Mahaprabhu's eternal associates, headed by Mother Sachi, headed by Nityananda Prabhu. And then in this way, getting the blessing finally of Nityananda Prabhu and all the great souls there of Navadip. Then he went over to Vrindavan, and on the way, getting an education in Sanskrit, etc., because he knew that his service was going to be assisting Rupa and Sanatan. And for that, he got such education, because Rupa and Sanatan Seva was very much the literary seva. They'd been given that by Mahaprabhu to expand on what is devotional service and to write books on devotional service. So he got his education in Varanasi, and there continued to Vrindavan, and there eternally serving to Rupa and Sanatan. So today we are always remembering Jiva Goswami, and Gurudev, Srila Gurudev will no doubt always today talk about Jiva Goswami's temple of Radha Damodar temple, and how that very land of Radha Damodar temple forcefully came to the hand of Srila Gurudev, that it may be served, that land may be served, and the Brajabasis of Vrindavan, they only wanted that land to come to Gurudev, to Srila Govinda Maharaj. And this way, that land mystically came in the famous dead telephone speaking transaction. And I was right there with Gurudev, with the dead telephone speaking and his conversation and everything. And, genuinely, I mean, everything's genuine, but Gurudev completely amazed by the dead telephone speaking and what it said. Means he was just picking up the phone. The phone had been dead for days, and probably like 10 days, not just 1 or 2 days. It had been dead for a while. And in those early days in Navadip, it was not uncommon. And in those days, phones were attached by wires to a telegraph pole, to the local telegraph office, and then somehow the wires are going elsewhere, connecting to someone else. Well, lots of places that it can go wrong. And anyway, for many days, it was common that the phone would be out of order. And Gurudev, in the afternoon after lunch and a short rest, then Gurudev coming out, and then he sitting on his little veranda that time, and he just picks up the phone to see whether there's a dial tone, the brrrr. I'm sure most of you have used a phone. So, unfortunately, now I take some things for granted. But, anyway, I hope most of you have used a phone. If not, watch an old movie or something. They have them, those black and white movies and the color ones. They do have those phones. Anyway, so he's picking it up to see if there's a dial tone. But instead of there was no dial tone, but there was the sound, Govinda Maharaj, Govinda Maharaj. Oh, Govinda, oh, okay. So anyway, he's talking on the phone, and it was a very respectable senior head Vaishnava of Vrindavan called Krishna Vallabha Prabhu. And he was explaining that this land has come out from litigation. It had been under some government dispute for quite some time. So it had been just like not wasteland, but not attended to land, open land. And that that the Brajabasis, the committees, the Vaishnavas, they want that land to be not just a hotel is going to be built on it or something commercial, because it's right in the center, very center of Vrindavan. And so lots of people have their eye on it for some commercial purpose, but they wanted that it will be properly served in the spirit of Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, etc. Jiva Goswami's temple is the Radha Damodar temple, right there. Jiva Goswami's Samadhi is right there. Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir of his last years is right there. Rupa Goswami's Samadhi Mandir, where he's buried, is right there, as well as other holy places. So the dead telephone anyway was Krishna Vallabha saying that this land is available, but within 2 weeks it has to be signed and sealed, otherwise it'll be in the open market. Now we can hold it privately, and you come and get it legally transferred so that it is legally in your care. Then it can't go onto the open market. So this way, Gurudev getting the news, but also other things were involved, like some money is needed. Gurudev saying, oh, well, how can I get this amount of money? But putting their money where their mouth is, then Krishna Vallabha said, don't worry, we'll manage the money over here, but we have to get official signature and legal transfer of the document, and then you pay me, you pay us back. And by the way, in India, I mean, anywhere, that means 100% trust in someone. And of course, it's not just a few rupees or a few dollars, it's substantial. And it's another indication of the respect that Gurudev and Guru Maharaj had in the Vaishnava, the honest Vaishnava community. So this way, the money was arranged, they managed the money that side, which would be repaid. But the paperwork needed to be done, and Gurudev sent one of the devotees over to do that. And it was Purnananda Prabhu, a devotee we know very well. We came to Guru Maharaj at the same time, so we know him. But he was 16, I was 25. Oh, I was 27. So 10 years between us. And he was a young 16, and I was a out of the world 27. But Purnananda by this time wasn't 16. He was older. This will be well, at least 10 years. Anyway, I don't know the exact number of years, but like 10 years plus later. And So Purnananda went, he did the legal side. And this is how the temple came, but it was land. And then Gurudev, once we got the land and everything, then Srila Gurudev, he's still like amazed at all of this, because Gurudev did not want a temple in the center of Vrindavan. He actually was completely happy with and having a place at Govardhan, beside the Parikram path at Govardhan, and near to Manasi Ganga, but quite close. 2 rounds of japa if you walk it. 2 rounds, okay, and a bit of japa to Kushum Sarovar from our ashram in Govardhan. Gurudev was completely happy with that. This is our place beside Govardhan Hill. But we know the devotees, everybody wants to go to Vrindavan on parikrama, to go on pilgrimage to Vrindavan. And from Govardhan to Vrindavan, if you're going to do a pilgrimage, it's going to take you a little while to get from Govardhan to Vrindavan before you can start your day's pilgrimage and see everywhere, etc. So it was natural that we'll have somewhere close, means beside Vrindavan, where devotees will have their some accommodation without having to pay for a hotel or stay in a dharmshala, and the other things which, and especially when it's busy, like Kartik, which is coming up, it's difficult to get accommodation, especially then in Vrindavan. So Gurudev already had secured a place on the literally on the parikram path that goes around Vrindavan Dham parikrama, but the parikrama of the Vrindavan town, he had got a place there, which he was also happy with. But his first building to make there was like a small hut, a small house for a guard. You need to occupy land when you get land for a guard, and where any building materials, somewhere where you can lock up and keep things safely when building materials, tools, etc. will come and the building will start. Then it's necessary to have a small place as the base there. So he'd built that, he'd arranged that to be built. But one day when we were in Navadip, and just before, a little while before this dead telephone spoke, one day when we were in Navadip, Gurudev got the news that, that house in a storm was fell down. And Gurudev made the comment, he said, and he was like puzzled why it fell down. He said, everything I make, nothing falls down. Why this house fell down? Why it was destroyed, blown over in a wind? Us of the of the normal world, we'd be thinking they didn't put enough cement, they cheated, didn't put enough cement in with the mixture, they had it all sand and no cement. No, we'll be thinking something material of why it fell down, but not Gurudev. Gurudev said, whatever I make, never it will collapse or fall down. So why it fell down? And he's trying to think, what is the message? Not that there's not enough cement in the mixture, but what's the message? And so Gurudev, the devotee says, so what will we do? We'll rebuild. And Gurudev said, wait, let's wait and see. He's waiting to see, considering why this happened. And then this phone call came a short while afterwards. Then Srila Gurudev came to consider that it is the will of the Lord, we can say, it is the will of the Lord that he will serve the land at Radha Damodar and not to make a place on the outside of the parikrama path. But Srila Gurudev, seriously, because we know when he's serious, Gurudev, he would be very internal and very serious, seriously saying, But who will be able to stay there? I mean, seriously, like who will be able to stay there and serve at that land in the Radha Damodar temple that came to him? Because it's the center of Vrindavan and must be a qualified person to stay there. And if doing nonsense, and Gurudev knows the Westerners, and in particular, not only the Westerners, in Kali Yuga, a little nonsense may be happening. So, Gurudev was very concerned also, who will be able to stay there? So, anyway, Gurudev accepted this service, took on this service, and built there the present-day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math and mission in the very center of Vrindavan, at Jiva Goswami's place, the Radha Damodar temple. And as Gurudev would do, and I mean noteworthy, he first made arrangement for the devotees. Excuse me. He first made arrangement for the devotees by constructing the ashram building, and then built the temple. And so always serving the Vaishnavas and Vishnu. And some devotees were saying, Gurudev, why will we build a temple? Why will we make a temple there? That there are so many temples in Vrindavan and very famous, and no need for us to make a temple. We can have accommodation for the devotees in this way. And Srila Gurudev said, no, we will make a temple there. And if not, in future, he said, not now, but in future, it will become like hotel. And Gurudev did not want that. This was Gurudev's expressed and clear vision, not just for the present day, but for the future, that the land will be properly utilized. And he built that beautiful temple and established there Gurudev's Pushpa Samadhi, Guru Maharaj's Pushpa Samadhi. And in the nearest place to both Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami, but in particular Gurudev expressed, here is Guru Maharaj's Pushpa Samadhi, the nearest to Rupa Goswami, because he is there, ready to render service. This is his service place with Rupa Goswami. And so in the whole world, there are two samadhis, Pushpa Samadhis of the great Vaishnavas that are the closest to Rupa Goswami. One is Bhurgava Goswami, who is in the compound there, and the other is Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj. And Bhurgava Goswami was a dear friend to Sanatan Goswami, to Rupa Goswami, to the 6 Goswamis. And he has his samadhi there, a small samadhi in the corner. And Srila Guru Maharaj has his Pushpa Samadhi there. And this beautiful temple came, tall, elegant temple. And this is the place of Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami, he arranged the gatherings, the satsanga, the gatherings of the pure devotees to come for Harikatha, Harikirtan, Hari Prasad. You see, it's been going on for years. And so Jiva Goswami, he arranged that with such souls as Rupa, Sanatan, and all of the famous Goswamis of Vrindavan, which includes the 6 Goswamis, plus also those who are not necessarily on that list of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, because we have Lokanath Goswami, and we have, as we just mentioned, Bhurgava Goswami, and others who would come together and be there in the Radha Damodar temple. He made arrangement for them to come. And they have a room there, which is right beside the deities in the Radha Damodar temple. When we look at the deities on our left, though the expression is on the deity's right, then there is a room where they have or had some murtis, of the six Goswamis, seated in Harikatha there, and a reminder, that these places, they are very living places of the pastimes of the greatest souls. And this includes Guru Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj. This includes Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj. This includes Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, he had, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he had his quarters there. After he took sannyas, he was here and there a little bit. He was in another place in Vrindavan near Keshigat, which is not far away, just very, very near. But then he secured quarters, was given quarters there in the Radha Damodar temple. And so his bhajan kutir is there. And in marble, literally in marble, just outside the door for his bhajan kutir there, is written a quotation from him, some words from him, which is probably, well, maybe exactly, but almost exactly. I always reside in my rooms in the Radha Damodar temple. That is like very sweet. That is literally in marble on just outside his door. And that's, again, a reminder. There's Srila Prabhupada right there at Jiva Goswami's temple, right there, right beside Rupa Goswami's Samadhi is first, and then the Bhajan Kutir from where his room was, where his kitchen was. And there are some there is a famous picture. I don't know if there are more, but there's a famous picture of Srila Prabhupada taking prasadam, seated at the table. A small table means seated on the floor with a low table, and he's honoring prasadam, looking through the window, which is one of those probably sandstone, but stone where they carve like diamond shapes out of the stone. So it's like a trellis window, so monkeys don't come in. And Srila Gurudev can see through, Srila Prabhupada taking his prasadam, looking through there to the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami, right within a few meters. How many meters? Someone's going to ask. 4.5, 5, not sure, like this, but very short meters, no, very short distance to Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. And this is the heart of Vrindavan, understood to be the center of Vrindavan geographically, north, south, east, west. In the middle, there's the Radha Damodar temple, but spiritually considered the center of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna, and right beside Seva Kunj, one of those places. In fact, it's all in that area of Seva Kunj, but there is a preserved area, governmentally, legally preserved area, which is not exactly forest, but small trees, a small trees forest. I don't know quite how to describe it, but with these dancing bushes called Seva Kunj, which is one of those places of the highest pastimes of Radha and Krishna, which we indicate but don't discuss. And this is all within Seva Kunj, and that means Radha Damodar temple of Jiva Goswami, but our temple, Gurudev and Guru Maharaj's temple, right there is in Seva Kunj. And so an area where really all our, not just senses, but mind, everything must be, very carefully kept in check. Hare Krishna, and I see a chat in the chat box. Maybe a pygmy forest. Maheshri did it. Well, I've been in pygmy forest. I've been in a forest with pygmies, real pygmies, many years ago, and they can navigate the big forests amazingly. That's their home. They know a lot that we don't know. It is a fact. But yes, I will say pygmy trees. Not sure. Anyway, yeah, a mini forest. Definitely a forest for the monkeys. And now the monkeys are very sad because they've made in Sevakunj, they've made now an iron grill, metal grill, protecting the parikram people who are doing parikrama of Sevakunj. So now they go like through along a corridor which has a roof and has the mesh all the way along the side. So the monkeys can't come and steal their food or steal their spectacles, hats, or anything else and do bargaining to get food. So now the monkeys not so happy in Sevakunj, but they're smart. They just wait outside. So don't argue with the lady who asks humbly, asks for a donation for looking after your shoes. If you think your shoes are worth more than 2 or 3 rupees, then it's a good idea to pay the lady some money, because the monkeys think they're worth much more than 2 or 3 rupees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. It's a thing. Oh, Mayashri added pygmy forest. It's a thing in Mendocino, California. As you leave the redwoods and near the ocean, there are pygmy forests. Okay, interesting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And Seva Rupadiri has put the picture there. Yes. Very smart. I am surprised how you're able to find these pictures. Prabhupada. Let me I can only see it small, but if I download it, I can see it big, right? This is my aim. Yes, this is the picture. This is the picture. And when we go to Radha Damodar temple, means when we go to our temple and we do pilgrimage here, then this exact spot, exact location, everything. This is Srila Prabhupada's kitchen, and as you can see, where he would honor prasad. He has 2 rooms, this little kitchen, and the entrance is just to the right of where the cameraman who's taking the photo is. So on his right is a little door. You come down 2 or 3 steps, and then you come into the kitchen, and there's a little veranda and opposite. So when you come out of this door, straight opposite you, there's another door after a little veranda, opposite you directly. And that was his living room, the room where he has his bed and would do his writings, etc. And there is a murti of Srila Prabhupada in that room now. Hare Krishna. And because the light is bright, you can't actually tell that it is sort of a grill shape, but you almost can when you look at the top of the bright light coming in through the window, because you can see 1, 2, 3, like little little dips in the frame. But that dip is actually the beginning of the kind of diamond shapes that are made there in the stone. So Srila Prabhupada from here directly seeing first the samadhi of Jiva, of Rupa Goswami, and then facing that samadhi, so just a little ahead of that is the Bhajan Kutir of Jiva Goswami. Oh, so wonderful. So I have that full screen on my computer, but I better look at you all instead of getting myself lost in the Radha Damodar temple. So anyway, these are some glories. I mean, I don't know, I'm qualified to say any glories, but something about Jiva Goswami and our family, and Srila Gurudev would say about Guru Maharaj, that Guru Maharaj was like Jiva Goswami in his protecting what has been given by the great acharyas in the past. And Guru Maharaj Guru Maharaj was vastly learned, and Guru Maharaj very capable to present the correct slokas, the correct verses appropriate to any challenge that is coming, appropriate to any circumstance. And remember, Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, they know thousands of slokas, and always coming up with the correct evidence, this specifically appropriate evidence for a particular argument. And in this way, being vastly educated and knowing what is what, then with the two combined, then drawing the substance of what has been given and protecting what has been given before. So Srila Guru Maharaj likened to Jiva Goswami in his erudition and capacity. Hare Krishna, and in service to Rupa Goswami, Rupa Nuga Sampradaya. Hare Krishna. So, little bit about Jiva Goswami, and I'm sure I've missed out lots of things, but I know each year Gurudev will come and talk about his dead telephone speaking, etc. And by the way, on that dead telephone speaking thing, when conversation was over, and Gurudev like astonished all the time, like astonished about the whole thing, and I'm sitting there just in front of him on the floor. We're sitting on that little veranda, and this is all taking place. And Gurudev puts down the telephone, and then when everything is finished, and then Gurudev comes to, again, like picks up the phone. He leaves it for a couple of, well, just, a few seconds, 30 seconds or something. He puts down, and he's thinking, and then he just picks up the phone again, expecting there's going to be the dial tone. For those of you who don't know, okay, the dial tone. And it's dead. No dial tone. And he presses the top. No sound of electricity that, oh yes, you can hear a little, pop. Normally, if you press the cradle, I think they call it, of the phone, but not any sound. And then he tries to dial, nothing, is dead. Dead means dead, no life. And it continued to be dead for that day, next day, maybe another 2 days or something, and then came back to life. So it wasn't just, okay, it was fixed and he just picked it up at the time, instead of just, like coincidence. It wasn't like that. It was more than a coincidence. And really, for Gurudev, you can think it takes more than a coincidence for him to see, there's something that really is coming for seva. I mean, very easily someone can pick up the phone and say, oh, we want you to have it. And then Gurudev say, yes, thank you very much. It's a kind offer, but, we want to stay just on the outside of Vrindavan, and we will respectfully come inside for our seva and parikrama, and then come back to the safety of the edge of Vrindavan. This was Gurudev's mood. And so easily it could have been that if he was normally, offered that land, that he would say, respectfully decline. But this way, being so unusual and exceptional, with everything coming together in this way, that house fell down. That small house that he'd built fell down, and he's thinking, why it has fallen down? I must wait and see what is the indication. And then all of this combined together made it like just abundantly clear to Gurudev, and he made that decision there and then during the phone call, and he put it all together and said, okay, yes, it must be. So there are remarkable things which have taken place, many remarkable things that have taken place in Gurudev's life, day by day, hour by hour, actually. Hare Krishna. And yesterday we are feeling very much Gurudev's presence also, in some circumstances, in good circumstances, but feeling his presence very much. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Gurudev, Ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. And it's Vamanadev's appearance today. Hare Krishna. Where's Paramananda Prabhu? No Paramananda. He could come and tell us something about Vamanadev. Now about Vamanadev, everything is ununderstandable. Oh, look who's here. Stephanie Lindbergh is here. Srila Devi Rasi. Okay, I've been chatting away and I can't believe that there's only 15 minutes left. But Srila Devi, I'm happy to chat, to change gear and chat away about Vamanadev, but it would be very appropriate if you do so, and you please share a little something about Vamanadev. Vamanadev, the Supreme Lord himself, Krishna. Krishna has a sense of humor. Everybody knows it. Look at his devotees, read the Krishna book. Krishna has a sense of humor. Mahaprabhu has a sense of humor. Krishna comes as a dwarf. And what happens next? Srila Devi Rasi, over to you. And our Dandavat to you, Srila Devi, our Dandavat to all the devotees, several devotees, or if not many devotees have joined while we've been chatting away from the beginning. And happy to see each of you here and with us. Hare Krishna, Govinda, and Narayani Nadiridi. Good to see you here with us too. From the redwood forests of California, you've got an internet connection. Happy to see you. And even Nadia Sundari may have been, and Narayani Nadiridi may have even been in Navadip when that happened with the phone. I'm not sure. Maybe that was a little later. Maybe a little later that you were there. As a young child, not so young teenager. Okay, so now we're going to hear kindly from Srila Devi Rasi. Microphone, if you turn on your microphone, we shall hear. Otherwise, it'll be entirely heart to heart, won't it? We still can't hear you.
Okay. Dandavat Maharaj. Dandavat Maharaj.
To you and your associates. Is that Lavanya?
Yes, and that's Lavanya.
Oh, my goodness. Amazing. I'm sure you both got lots of stories you can tell. Yes.
Yeah, we've been feeling very happy. I'm so happy to have Lavanya Didi with us for a few days. Very, very sweet. So we're telling. So Maharaj, Dandavat to you. It's just wonderful to hear you, Maharaj. All that history, and you were there for everything. It's really wonderful and touching to hear from you all these different details about so many things that happen with Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, and you're there and always rendering service. Is wonderful, really nourishing to hear all those stories. And so you're asking me, I'm happy to try to tell something about Lord Vamanadev. His mother's name is Aditi, and Aditi had a sister whose name was Diti, and all of Diti's sons were called the Daityas, or they're the bad guys. So Diti's behavior was not so proper, and she ended up being the mother of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. But her her sister Aditi, and married to both of them were married to Kasyapa Muni. And Kasyapa Muni, anyways, they had a son, and he was the Supreme Lord, of course, incarnation of the Lord. He came in the form of a very beautiful dwarf, extremely gorgeous, beautiful. And at the time of his birth ceremony, so many demigods and sages came and gave him so many gifts, wonderful gifts. And when one water pot was given to him and an umbrella was given to him. And in the meantime, one of the descendants of Prahlad Maharaj, whose name was Bali Maharaj, he was taking over the universe. And he really was doing it. Like his great-great-great-grandfather, Hiranyakashipu, he had great ambitions. And so the prayers were coming from the demigods to the Lord, please come and help. We have our service to do. We have to manage the universe nicely, but we can't do this. Bali Maharaj is already so powerful, and now he's conducting a sacrifice. And this sacrifice is going to be so powerful, we will lose everything. We won't be able to manage our duty. So the Lord came in the form of Vamanadev, and he just walks into the big arena of this sacrifice, which was being conducted by the famous Sukracharya, who is always using the scriptures to help the demons to do what they wanted to do. So he walked in, and his effulgence filled up the whole arena. He was so beautiful and so effulgent, and he just wandered in, and everyone was just chamatkar, astonished to see him. And Bali Maharaj was deeply touched. And we can remember that Prahlad Maharaj was given the benediction by Lord Nrsingadev that all of your ancestors for 10 generations and your who will come after you, all of those generations will all be liberated. So Bali Maharaj, by the benediction of Prahlad Maharaj, immediately was really overwhelmed to see Vamanadev. And of course, he's a Brahmin. He's got his Brahmin thread and his sikha, and he's got his umbrella and his water pot, and he's coming in. And Bali Maharaj said, it is such a great joy and benediction for me that you've come to my sacrifice and blessing this event by your presence. And now I want to give you in charity anything you can possibly ask for. And Sukracharya said, no, don't do that. I know who this is. This is Vishnu. He killed your great-great-grandfather, Vishnu. He's our enemy, and this is who he is. Don't give him anything. He's going to take everything away from you. And Bali Maharaj, no, I've already promised. I really want to give him something. Oh, Sukracharya was so upset. And then Bali Maharaj asked Vamanadev, what do you want? Anything. You ask anything. And Vamanadev says, oh, I'm just a simple Brahmin. I don't really require anything. 3 steps of land, and that will satisfy me, and I will be happy. I'm a simple Brahmin boy. And Sukracharya says, no, don't give it to him. And then Bali Maharaj says, no, I will give you that, but I think you're a little bit foolish. Do you know who I am? I can give you a planet, or I could give you a beautiful wife and devoted wife and cows. I can give you a whole village. Asking for 3 steps of land for me on this occasion, I think maybe you're not thinking very well. And Vamanadev, no, really, this is my lifestyle. I only want. And then Bali Maharaj took this water pot with the spout, just pour 3 drops of water, and that will seal the deal. That will completely make this promise solid. So Sukracharya went into the spout of the water pot in order so that, by his mystic power, so that no water can come out. And Bali Maharaj was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" And Vamanadev said, "I can fix the problem. It's probably something stuck in there." So he poked some kusha grass into the spout of the water pot and poked Sukracharya in the eye. And Sukracharya, oh, he's coming up. And then, dun, 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 3 steps of land. And suddenly Vamanadev began to grow. And he grew to a size that is not really describable. So huge. I mean, planets were below his head, like the planetary systems, And so he took 1 step of land and covered the whole bottom of the universe. And another step of land that covered the rest of the universe. And then he looks at Bali Maharaj. You could see him somehow, and he says, "Are you going to break your promise now? I've only taken 2 steps of land, and now where's my 3rd step of land supposed to go? Are you going to break your promise?" Bali Maharaj said, and he's completely overwhelmed. He said, "Put it on my head, my lord. I am yours. Then I will also be yours." And then Vamanadev tied him up. "You were very bad, and chastised him. And Bali Maharaj remained completely surrendered, overwhelmed with love, bowing down. And Vamanadev said, "Now you ask me for a benediction." Bali Maharaj is actually the example of this full self-surrender in that sense, that he gave everything and didn't lament for a moment at what he had lost. And Bali Maharaj said, "I would really like you to live with me." And first of all, Vamanadev pushed him down to the bottom, the lower planetary systems. "Yeah, you can live down here and behave yourself." And then Vamanadev agreed, and he, to this day, is as far as I understand, maybe I'm wrong, but remains the doorkeeper of Bali Maharaj. This is how affectionate the Lord is to those who surrender to him. So that is just a very brief recounting of the story, Maharaj, and if I made any mistake, sorry, I'll be corrected.
I think the only thing that was missing was the dancing. Here, reciting it with dancing and hearing it with dancing.
Oh.
Such a happy recitation, a summary of the pastimes of Bali Maharaj. And this is all Krishna's humor, but educational humor and mercy to his devotees, causeless mercy. And we are fortunate to have such an affectionate, happy, joyful master. So however his mercy comes in whatever extraordinary ways, then we are very, very happy to go with the flow. Beautifully recited. My goodness.
Should we see who else said?
Yes, Lavanya, we must hear a word or two from you, live from Sweet Lake City. She's escaped from London for a short while, and she's going to escape later in the year to Vila Govinda Ashram, Italy. She said, "I promise I'll come this year, even if it's the 31st of December, but I must keep my promise."
No, good,
Lavanyadi, a
it's-
few words from
it's-
you, please.
What can I say? I just been looked after too nicely and treated a bit like stardom, which is a bit ridiculous. But everyone's so sweet and kind, and it's been lovely. We just met all the devotees here. We went on Harinam. Divi Shakti arrived at like 10 last night from London, and then this morning she was there on Harinam at like 11 o'clock in the morning. She's like far out, and with Braja Mohini and Ishwar number, and also the Prabhu that just left and went back to Latvia. Gopal,
Hari Gopal,
Hari
Prabhu,
Gopal,
Ashapurna,
yeah, it's like all this
and also Shama Mohini.
Shana Mohini, all these beautiful devotees, and then Krishna Mohini was there too. She met us, and yeah, it's lovely to see everyone. And the temple is beautiful. It's so sweet. It's really, well, you've been here, but no photos done it justice. And it's big. It's much bigger than I thought it would be. And
And what about the internet?
the deities are obviously beautiful.
No. Maharaj,
Oh, there you are.
there you are.
So yeah, very sweet, very lovely. I feel like an
Beautiful.
imposter. I'm an imposter, but it's okay because I'm imposing on the right people. The merciful one.
No, she's an imposter because she thinks herself so insignificant.
No, it's all good, Maharaj. Very lovely, very fortunate. I feel very, very fortunate. Yeah, it's so nice.
Indeed, we are all very fortunate to have such association, and good to hear that Divya Shakti got back safely. She was a star wherever she went. She was in Italy, in London, in Ireland, and in the different places. So she was a star, her ever youthful self after all these years. And you went on Harinam Sankirtan. Well done. Today, join us by heart. We're going on Harinam Sankirtan today in Lecco.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
With the autumn weather. Look, wearing jacket.
Mm-hmm. We're also.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, autumn in Salt Lake City too.
Yeah.
All right. So, dear devotees, on this day, oh, by the way, on this day, our breaking fast, it is the advent, the appearance of Vishnu Tattva, means the Supreme Lord in his form of Vamanadev. Normally, there is some fasting on the appearance days of the Vishnu Tattva. But today we have to break fast because yesterday was Ekadashi. And I expect, and it should be, everywhere in the world, it'll be following that system that Vamanadev appears on the day after Ekadashi. So we break fast after the worship of Vamanadev and before the time limit, because there's given a time limit for all of our different locations in the world for breaking the fast. So some extra worship of him, and that extra worship is done on the altar, some worship on the altar, and can also have some worship of him through the chanting of his glories, reading from, for instance, the Krishna books. We can find that chapter and read from there. And then breaking fast. So today, this way, a not nominal short fast until that time. All right, so to you all, wishing you a special day in remembrance of Jiva Goswami, in remembrance of Vamanadev, in remembrance of Guru Maharaj, of Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, the remembrance of Rupa Goswami, Radha Damodar Temple, Vrindavan, Navadip, from where Vrindavan is distributed, Chaitanya Sarasat Mat, from where Guru Maharaj had his bhajan kutia, Gurudev his bhajan kutia, where the glories of Gauranga have been worldwide distributed from that place, like the golden volcano of the present age. And so all these things today we can consider really, we have this fortune, as Lavanyamoy is saying, we're fortunate to have such opportunity, such association, and such friends on the journey. So Jai to our wonderful Guru Maharaj, yes, wonderful Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakok Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, our wonderful Guru Dev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, wonderful Srila, our Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, and our, there perhaps, but our Bhagavan, grandfather, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. And Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga ki jai, Shri Jiva Goswami ki jai, Shri Vamanadev ki jai, Shri Shad Goswami, 6 Goswamis ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai, the assembled devotees ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki jai, and Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Shri Bhaktivedanta Madhusudana Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. And those are the words from Leela Moy Prabhu in the next room over with the Brazilian contingency early in the morning here, whereas normally it's late at night with Vrindavaneshri, and I'm not sure where Priya Sundari is just now. She looks somewhere very bright, but in Brazil it's late at night now, 6 minutes past midnight, just see. So the Brazilians are covering the world. The Brazilian devotees are covering the world and making the world as auspicious with Hari Kirtan, Hari Katha, and Hari Prasad. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Ashchi. Quick look in the chat, because I saw one more chat was there. Priya Sundari, it's Brazil. Oh, it's Brazil. Okay. Looking very bright, Brazil. Strong electricity in your house. Dandavat pranam to you all. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Oh dear. Jai Sweet Lake City devotees ki jai. And such a beautiful presentation, living presentation of Vamanadev's pastimes by Sri Leka Devidasi. Jai Sri Leka Devidasi ki jai. Govinda Govinda. Dandavat Dandavat.